Recently I watched a video about Finnish sauna culture and understood how deep it runs, how important it is, all the benefits it brings, and I loved it. I think the sauna culture in Finland is very unique, but it's such a great thing for Finnish people. And I seen this video pop up. It's called An Authentic Finnish Sauna, so I wanted to watch this, learn a little bit more. It's an enjoyable subject to learn about. Pretty cool part of Finnish culture. Let's watch and learn.
So I'm sitting in my sauna here at my house. It's 110 degrees. I'm definitely overdressed to be in the sauna. But I just wanted to talk to you about the history and traditions of sauna here in the UP. And for that, I went to visit with Jim Curdy.
The word sauna is the only Finnish word that is considered to be adopted into the English language. That's why it's important that that one word should also be pronounced correctly.
Is that true? Is that the only word that originates from the Finnish language in English? Tell me if you know of any more. That'd be cool to know.
There is a philanthropic organization called Finlandia Foundation, and they have declared at the end of February to be National Sauna Week, and they're encouraging everyone to celebrate sauna, to appreciate it, to become more acquainted with it, to be more appreciative of all the complexities of sauna. In rural Finland, you know, they didn't have a lot of resources, and so everything they had to make themselves. And so when it came to bathing, they had this very ancient tradition of having these steam houses, these saunas. And it was important in many levels because it was a place to bathe, but it was also kind of a place to relax. And it was really also a sense of community. So you kind of shared that sauna with everyone that was there. There used to be a saying that if sauna, tar, and whiskey don't cure you, then you're a goner. And so sauna was really, they also used to say, sauna on köyhän miehen apteekki, that the sauna is the poor man's apothecary. And it's very good for you to relax you, to cleanse you, to detox you, which is something people talk about a lot these days. It was always a clean place. That's where the women would go to have their babies. It was quiet, it was clean.
Really?
Finnish immigrants brought the sauna to the UP in the 1860s when they came to work in the copper mines. And when they built their homes, the sauna was the first building they built. The upper Midwest has also been coined as the sauna belt.
Some say that the copper country is the buckle on the sauna belt because there's so many saunas here.
A few years ago, Jim purchased this original Finnish sauna and moved it from our hometown of Bruce Crossing to Painesdale.
This sauna was covered in a siding for many years, so when one of the owners removed the siding, the logs were in pretty good shape. But there were some alterations made to it, and my goal was to take it back to the original. I believe that this sauna was built in the 1930s, and it's built in traditional Finnish style. In this case, it's a double dovetail corner. The thing about the dovetail corners is that when you build the building and the logs still are somewhat green, as they dry, it tightens. And so the building becomes tighter over time.
Is that like a common way to have sauna in Finland as well? Or is this like quite unique? Yeah, I think like it's interesting when you said about Finnish people going over, the first thing they built is a sauna. Because that, like, living in Asia, I know that a lot of people have came from other countries to live, like here in Malaysia, for instance. One of the first things they build actually is more things like to do with religions, whether it's small temples, places to pray and so on. So it's like interesting that it's like almost like such an important part of Finnish people's lives, like almost like a religious experience type thing, or such a necessity for Finnish people. I like that for sure.
When the sauna
it'll have a lot of mental and physical benefits for Finnish people.
Sauna came here, there were some things that had to be added, and so I was happy that I had been somewhat of a pack rat. So I have the pick from my grandfather's farm, and we think that he used this when he was even mining in the copper mines in Calumet. And then a lot of the things that are in the sauna are things that have come from the family, like my grandparents' wood box, even the light fixture. This was very often a typical light fixture in a sauna. Here in the copper country was a mason jar. You have this small window between the two rooms so that, you know, the light that's from there provides light for both spaces. So this is the steam room of the sauna. And here's the Nippa sauna stove that I so happily own. One thing that I really cherish about this sauna is I have a Leo Nippa sauna stove. He was from my hometown, and he was one of the earliest developers of a sauna stove industry. He started making those stoves in part by recycling old smokestacks from the mines throughout the copper country. I think it was in the early 30s that he began doing this. And my understanding of the stove that I have, which is from my grandparents' sauna, was one of his early stoves. Quite typical for these Finnish American saunas, the chimney would start from here. And I don't really know why that was, except I assume that part of it was Finnish frugality, that you had to buy the bricks, but everything else you could make. So they would only start the bricks from where they needed them. The other thing that's important about traditional sauna is that when you're sitting in the sauna, your feet shouldn't be any lower than the top of the sauna stove. That's why the benches were always high.
Never knew that.
Finland, when you have a sauna switch, it's made out of birch boughs. In this case, this is birch that I harvested early last summer, and you have to do it before midsummer. You have to do it before the leaves are fully developed, and then you hang them in a cool, dry place. And then when you take these out, you soak them, and it's a very nice smell, and it's a very, it's supposed to be beneficial to make you sweat and to bring your circulation. You switch yourself or the person next to you with these. In the United States, here in the UP anyway, very often they use cedar. And cedar also has a nice smell, but in Finland they don't have cedar. And so they would put this, and you'd get it wet, and then you'd even set it on the stove just briefly, and it brings a very nice smell. And there's a lot of curative or healing powers in birch. So this is very traditional sauna, that we don't have a shower. We do it the old-fashioned way, the way I did it as a kid, where you have pans of water, and you've taken your steam, you fill the water, and you bathe that way. For this sauna, we enjoy it to be about 180 to about 200. It's a large steam room, so that temperature is quite comfortable. I think it's a preferential thing as far as how much heat or how hot you take it, how long you take the steam. A lot of it has to do with what you can stand. Finnish men who want to show their sisu or their stamina, they try to outdo one another, sitting on the top bench and take as much steam as possible.
I joined a sauna group on Facebook, and someone there mentioned the whole sauna experience can take up to 2 hours.
Seems like a long time, but when you go in and you bathe, and then you take a rest, and maybe you have some refreshments, maybe a snack, and you go back in and take some more steam, and then take another rest, and then go back, it could easily be 2 hours, and have a lot of conversation. So if you're doing a good proper sauna, 2 hours is nothing, especially if there's a lake nearby.
I think that seems like a good way to spend 2 hours, very enjoyable thing. Like you said, it would be healing as well. So for me, having that in your property, in your house, would just be, I think I would be using it a lot, at least a couple times a week. How often do you use it? Is it every day, once a week? How often? But I think this is in the US, so pretty cool to see that part of culture followed Finnish people. A couple of weeks ago, I watched a video about Finnish food culture in the USA, so cool to see sauna culture there as well. And it looked like a nice place in the snow, very reminiscent of somewhere in Finland as well. Tell me what you think about this one. Thanks.